Well, welcome back to Threshold of Revelation. This is session 19 titled Smugglers Den. Very easy to ruin this title. Last session, the group had exited the strange place that they had forgotten, found a interesting magical tower that had very specific magical workings to its interior, but they were able to find respite within. The top of the tower had a soul well, which allowed Silas to reform his body, and it also had some interesting means for them to look around the area. In that purview and looking around, they saw a couple of different places of interest. The first one they decided to travel to was west. They found a strange cave set inside a network of crevasses in kind of a rocky area. And within, they found some strange Goliath folk who weren't terrible in first contact, but someone who we don't have to name or point fingers at or anything stole a sword and ran out in a hurry, causing crazy statues, ghost statues, to form, and the
It's
guards
not here. It's Ezekiel's
to
fault.
freak out. It's not. But that's hilarious. That,
Bad dog.
yeah, it's definitely him. Okay, so he's not here. I get it. So he can't defend himself. That's smart.
Right.
Good job. After exiting the area, they saw that there was kind of a marshy area, more scrubland to the north, and also perhaps a means of kind of traversing up towards the town that has yet to be named, but a fortified town kind of west of the Makovsky Plains. They have done some scouting and have seen that kind of in a lower area of the scrubland where a bit of the the ocean kind of seeps into the land, kind of in a delta-like formation. There is a fort or a number of ruins, and it looks like inside of a good portion of these ruins, there appears to be bandits. We're just kind of layering about, and a number of boats as well. So it looks like they use this kind of as a launching point for whatever process they're engaging in. I spoiled it with the title. It's smuggling. They're smugglers. They're smugglers. All right. So
We'd have figured that out.
whether or not you want to go in and investigate investigate them, or if you want to, like, just avoid them, it's entirely up to you. Tables yours.
Their
So as a
odds led
reminder,
to no
John,
good.
Yes.
we did identify that sword, right? I think I
Yes,
used identify and have
Dragon
the.
Sling.
Yeah, got it.
Giant Slaying, yeah. So now
Dragon.
you have Dragon Slaying. Sorry, the Giant Slayer was a different weapon, right?
Correct.
You don't have a. You
Yeah.
do have a Giant Slayer, correct?
We have a giant slayer, and that sword we did get was broken. I remember.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea what they're smuggling or who they're smuggling for?
No. So what you were able to see outside is the boats that they're utilizing aren't very large, but they're also not uniform. Looks like it's a number of different types of boats. I would say that in your kind of perception there, you would have noted that one of the boats looks not too dissimilar from the Denisotvan boat that you saw kind of land behind you at shore. But the other boats are also kind of just an amalgam of other different crafts. It looks like these are just kind of not so much like a fleet that they've organized, but more a fleet that they've collected through happen chance. Kind of like an amalgam of the crafts that they've been able to kind of recover.
Does anybody want to go in here?
They could potentially smuggle us into Bridger, looking at the map. Like they use this cove for smuggling.
They could be smuggling for the Aeonians.
Yeah. Well,
Well, now the Aeonians kind of control a lot of
Yeah.
the land, so I don't think they'd be smuggling for them.
they could also just be like smuggling for whoever's going to pay them, right? Smugglers do.
It could be just straight up neutral smugglers.
That could be a fast route into Bridger.
We're
Yep.
fairly clearly marked as government agents, though, right?
Conglomerate. If you can be, you can put away your badges or not. I know one of you or a couple of you have said it, like, it's always out. Who cares? But sometimes, I think one time you said you kind of put them away. So, yeah.
Oh, I put that cloak on inside out,
Yep.
the fancy one with the magic pockets.
Yeah, so the pockets are on the outside instead. Yep.
I've heard you'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy than this place. I think we should go clear of it.
So we have one person saying that it's a pretty good idea to try and maybe utilize them to smuggle yourselves into a place of purpose. One of you who is apparently Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then, what about the rest?
That's Ben Kenobi.
Sorry, apologies.
I can see where you get confused.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great dragon, actually. Because he's a lizard folk, and also, this is a good joke. I made a good joke, and I'm really happy with it.
Was he standing on a box?
It's also
Great
a good
dragon.
God damn it! It's also
I'd
a
be
good
willing
reference.
to. I'd be willing to check it out if it has potential to give us access to Bridger.
Hide your badges, because if they find out we're
Maybe
cops,
they're selling. We're not cops.
close enough.
Yeah, does anyone have like connections to the Undercity or anything like that? Like, I don't know.
I'm
what
actually
backgrounds are.
a city
Looks
guard,
at you.
so
So the opposite.
I'm quite the opposite. Yeah, I'm quite literally a cop.
We're also marked as government officials, and if they're smuggling, they're probably working against a government at least.
Yeah, we can like hide our badges, go 22 Jump Street on them. You know.
Then you won't get the
Works
thing.
for
You
me.
want.
Straight to the sequel.
Yep. Straight to the sequel.
Get the prequels. Move on in. Just like with the Star Wars. Yes.
Go see what. Yeah, we'll do it all out of order. Let's go see what they're up to. Anybody hate that idea?
Nah, man, it's fine.
We got
Oh,
3 right now for going in and meeting with them. Looks like Brent and Andy, depending on your
I
votes.
said we can go.
Oh, cool,
Sure.
cool. Then we're undecided then.
We're going.
Sorry, I
We're
missed
going.
that, Brent. Thank you. Okay, so if you start to make your way,
Undercover.
right, you're not dressed up as cops. Who is
Disadvantaged travelers.
Normal high school students.
Pointman? Who is going to be the person who's kind of like trying to make themselves noticed for the kind of lead watch person? That person that was kind of on that balcony you saw there.
I feel like Bodhi's our charisma.
Bodhi's a pretty smooth talker.
Oh, I'm a smooth talker.
I don't disagree.
The ant is also a prisoner. Nix is his name. He's a smooth
I mean,
talker too.
I am a bard.
Yeah, bards are usually pretty welcome in any place.
I could do a song. I have
I
that.
just
Do you know any
Bodhi's been,
pirate shanties?
Bodhi's kind of
Probably
been the
people
front
like
man.
Of course, I know
everywhere
pirate
but-
shanties.
everywhere
but
except for Dwarflands.
I have been working on my puns though.
Oh, okay.
I
I,
have-
should
I have
probably
a lot of
take
them
lead.
All right, so we're all in the
Goodness,
front.
go-
Literally everyone except Nix.
Silas,
I've been
Silas.
working on my pun work.
We're all
Silas.
holding hands and walking in a straight line, side by
Yeah.
side.
Silas, what's a sea monster's favorite food?
I don't know.
Fish and chips.
Alright, so I'll go up front.
Well,
Okay, come on. I'm
Oh.
working, guys. I'm workshopping.
I like it.
Workshop.
I like it.
The Dromite tripped and fell into the water. It just started drowning.
Uther tries to kill himself to get out of this, realizes he becomes a ghost and is stuck here forever.
I'll keep working on it, guys. I'll be back with more.
I'm
Don't you
stuck
worry.
haunting this guy.
I'll be here all
I'm
week.
gonna be in Schenectady next week.
Looking at the situation, as you kind of make your way up, you see the kind of guy on the edge of the balcony there, waving his hand at you, and it kind of looks like he's making a gesture towards you. None of you understand Thieves' Cant, so you don't know what he's saying.
I'm waving back.
Okay. But yeah,
Friendly howdy.
Hello?
you definitely don't.
They see us. This is good.
Nodding and waving with you. Yes.
You definitely don't get the signaling. So after a fashion, you see him kind of yell back, and it doesn't sound like he's yelling a specific word or anything. Just kind of like a "Oi!" kind of like back into the fort behind him. He then settles.
Oh, they're getting ready to greet him.
He then settles a massive-looking device out onto the rail of his railing, and is kind of pointing it at you. From this distance, it looks like some sort of like gun or like crossbow, but you can't really tell the details at this distance. He then, once you kind of get close enough for him to yell, and he knows kind of where that is, he says, "Stop right there!"
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
What
How
brings,
how far out does he stop us?
Uh,
We're walking until he calls out to us.
150 feet.
Oh, that's a ways. Okay. How high up is he, and are the walls?
He is about 20 feet up. The walls behind him are about 30 feet where they're blocking line of sight. If the
Okay.
walls are not blocking line of sight, they're basically just kind of like holy and rubble, so you can kind of see through them.
It's just sort of like a hop over.
Yeah.
Okay.
He says, "What brings you out this way?"
You got to speak up. We can barely hear you from 150 feet away.
"What brings you out this way?"
Weird echo for a plane, for a swamp.
Why?
Traveling to the north, we've escaped. There were dragon sightings south in the. Oh god, it's been too long.
Southeast.
Dwarf place.
Dragons? Oh, I ain't heard nothing about that. Hold on a second. You wait right there.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Bill! Fucking Bill! Guy comes up behind him.
I feel like we should be able to hear Bill's name from here.
Guy comes up
Goddamn.
behind him. And
It
he
sounded
says,
like Bill. It might not have been Bill.
Maybe he said Phil.
it seems like the actual, like, still air. There's not, like, a lot of wind passing through the area. It's doing a lot to kind of, allow his voice to kind of carry. And he kind of has this guy come up the stairs behind him, kind of looking out towards you. As he kind of gets up into position, he says, "What?" And you don't really know what he's saying, but it appears that they're having a conversation for a second. And then Bill says, "Well, where did you say you was trying to get?"
North into the Bekonsky Plains? Or the
McConsky?
plains?
No, whatever the part, whatever the landmass that Bridger's on.
Oh, you want to get to Bridger?
Sure.
Cost you 50 gold a head.
That's pretty good.
That's not so unreasonable.
That's
Does anybody?
not
The
bad.
best meal
Do
you've
we have-
ever had in your life.
Do we have money?
Not that much.
If you're offering to make a
Tell him we could trade him some puns. We could barter puns.
we would not like you to listen to the ad.
Who? What?
Oh, he's behind us. Don't worry. Perhaps we could have this conversation and talk shop a little closer, sir. We promise we don't mean you any harm.
Pick one of your friends. You two can move up. The rest of you stay back out there.
You should take the ant. He's got fun.
so Nick's elbowing.
You know what? Fuck it.
YOLO.
Let's go, buddy. Let's go, Chip.
And he's-
All right. If you two move up, there's
Yes.
really no crossing. They kind of like gesture for you to move around and kind of move to the front. Should be on the other side there. And as you're kind of moving that way, you see a woman in kind of like a purplish cloak kind of move across the way near you.
There's a
And
lot more people up here.
she kind of hops over, landing on this boat and then kind of landing next to you and says, "Can I help you?"
Oh, the gentleman shouted that perhaps you were selling
Make a make a
chartering.
make a sleight of hand check real quick.
ooh, can I help him?
Nope, just him. He would have not asked for help because it's something he didn't actually think to ask for help before the game started. Yeah,
9.
you see
Real
her kind
good
of
at that. Real
very
good at that.
quickly kind of reach forward towards you and kind of touch your cloak and lift the pin, which is inside out. Kind of lift it up and look at it, and then drop it down. Why didn't you just say you were with the conglomerate before you moved up?
Hard to trust folks in this day and age, Smith.
You're not wrong.
Never can be too careful.
We're Penford loyalists. I'm assuming that you were sent out here for a purpose.
I can't share it fully, but yes, we are aiming to get to Bridger.
I understand.
Top
Snake's-
secret.
The snake's business is the snake's business. Bridger, you say?
And I brought you.
Me
Brid-
too.
Yes,
Bridger,
yes, ma'am.
what cost did they cite at the front?
50 gold ahead, I believe.
That's about reasonable. Unfortunately, the cost is non-negotiable. I would have probably put the prices more, knowing you are who you are, but we have some requirements, some hands we need to grease if we want to move into the city of Bridger at our pleasure. But your name again?
I am Bodhisattva. I am an agent of Penford.
My name is Tiffany. If you are interested, we can definitely work out an arrangement. 50 gold pieces will be the cost on your end, and fortunately, we don't have much in the way of places for you to lounge about. And she kind of gestures towards the scrubland around her. So, if you're not interested, just head up the way you came.
I'll have to see what kind of funding we have. I appreciate the honesty and
Of course. I will allow for you to make passage to and fro. If you need, there's a boat, I believe, right out front if you want to have a nice place to stand or sit. I understand stomping around in the muck can be troublesome. Gestures towards the dromite, especially for some of you who are smaller of size or stature. We'll be cordial as we can, Glimmered Agent, and hopeful that you're able to put forward the bill.
I'll give her a sort of respectful bow and head back around the tower. Wave 2.
Almost as if
I'm assuming Uther is the most
Nix
keen to
tips his
notice.
hat.
in a cool guy response, she kind of just like throws like the hair off of her face and kind of like moves back towards the boat, and then kind of poing just springs across the waterway like twoosh. She definitely seems to be jumping a lot farther than a normal person, and the Arcanist in you, without having Arcana trained, assumes it's magically imbued.
She wearing like fancy spring shoes or something?
It does look like her boots are very cool.
Oh, moon shoes. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna wave the others over towards us.
Bodhi, I don't have 50 gold
I
pieces.
don't either.
I have lots of puns, though. Do you want to hear one?
Yeah, we got a minute. Go ahead.
How do you cut the ocean in half?
Oh boy, I just don't know. How do you cut the ocean in half there,
You
Nick?
use a seesaw. But
It's a seesaw, Nix. Go on, Nix. Boy, they're walking slow.
Are they
And
back
he
to the
ripples
group
through
yet,
some
or-
pages. I have another one, but I'll hold off on that one till later.
Wait till the gang's all here for it.
So she was referring to this kind of boat out front for you to stand on if you need to.
This is sort of our like meeting spot.
Yeah, and those guys up top are kind of still looking at you. You'll note that they don't have any guns or anything trained on you. At this point, they've kind of settled that big gun that I mentioned kind of on the rail next to them, and they pulled out what appear to be, for our parlance, cigarettes, and are kind of like smoking them and talking to one another. There's a lady over here and a half-orc kind of at this other ship, and they seem to be loading crates onto it. You see that Tiffany, unbeknownst to your view, has made her way around this way and starts talking to them. And they start taking the crates that they were loading and unloading them and moving them back into the fort.
How much gold does everybody have?
25.
4.
0.
We have
So-
enough then. I
Hey,
have,
you have.
I'm sorry?
magic items. You
I have
items we can probably
248.
sell. Holy.
I have 100 gold.
Ezekiel.
I gave
Where did
all
you-
my
where
money
did you
to
bury that
Rolling Rock
gold?
before we left.
The cute, adorable Candleborn just is
Yeah.
like... like all these
That's why I
gold
have
coins.
that's why I have gold. You threw it at me.
He's got a hammer in one hand and a piggy bank in the other.
well, it's because we were we were looting that little area, and we opened up the chest and had a bunch of gold, and nobody said they wanted any, so I was like, okay, and took it all.
I was paying
Good lad.
attention. Good job.
Smart thinking.
We have a substantial amount of residium too. Like, don't people typically also trade in like the value of goods?
Yeah, but Residium's typically something you'll want to keep for yourself because it's
Yeah, but
beneficial.
I'm like, if we're in a pinch,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you could probably talk most people into taking Residium as current. It just depends on who you're talking to. Like these bandits, probably because they're savvy. It sounds like. But if you're talking to like, a merchant out in the road or somebody, they're probably going to want what they want.
But yeah, if we wanted to pay for it, I could pay 200 and Rolling Arc could pay 100 and we could get on.
yeah.
This 300's 50 ahead. That's 100. Yeah, 300.
300 piece for this trip.
It really comes down to like, are we ready to like get back onto like our main task, or are we still trying to like explore?
Bridger's definitely a conundrum. You haven't done much research on Bridger. You know it's a bridge town, but other than that, like we haven't really learned a lot about it. So it's up to you. You definitely have a way in, though.
According to the map, it looks like there was also a cove where like we could dock that was near where Flap landed if we wanted to go to that cool place.
Yeah, I mean, if you pull out your map, you could probably try and ask them to park you somewhere else besides Bridger too. Like if you wanted to go somewhere different. But again, this
We
is
could also go get the boats from that cave that we got the sword from, because I'm pretty sure there were boats being there.
Yeah.
If any of us know how to drive boats.
Well, yeah,
Maybe.
it might be harder to work with those people than it is these people. These people have seemed pretty cordial.
Cordial.
Oh, I meant steal the boats, but
Oh yeah, no, I get you. But I'm just saying, like these people actually know where they're going. If you have boats, that doesn't mean you're going to be able to get into the city easy peasy.
Maybe I ask Tiffany a little about the coastline and the area around Bridger. I'm assuming they smuggle somewhere adjacent to there. Maybe she has some information she'd be willing to
Okay, so if
provide.
you go over to Tiffany and say, what exactly? Give me the precise language you want to throw at her.
We're weighing our options, miss. It does sound like an attractive offer, 50 gold ahead. I was hoping you could tell me about the area surrounding Bridger. Are we in over our head, traveling directly there?
I would suggest that if you were to try and enter the city of Bridger, you probably do so through means like we're offering. At current, I believe Ionian riders are on either side of the city of Bridger, locked in position, ready to ride out when needed and called for. On the western coast of Bridger, there's been a lot of activity of the Ionian riders. They're trying to come up with a way to deal with the issue of a floating city known as Flap passing over and them not being able to catch it. It's been annoying those riders quite a bit. I believe at current, the city of Flap is high up in the mountains near the city of Amelvot. And at current, the map, the way you saw it is a little off because it's been a couple of days since then. It's pretty close to the mountain area that I showed where it would be going to. She
So
said,
both sides of the bridge are very well guarded.
very well guarded.
Where do you... Did you say I'm muted?
I said very well guarded.
Okay. Where would you propose to take us to get us inside the city?
If we were to take you inside the city of Bridger, we have a small, she kind of is trying to gauge the way to say it. Dock? One of the strong structures that hold up the western half of Bridger. Inside of the city proper, we are actually located, in all honesty, it's more of a town, but that said, she says it's on the western side. It's a small location, not too far from the clock tower, kind of on the northern side. It's a residence, but it also has a front-facing shop.
Okay. Do you know if there are any loyalists to conglomerate forces within the city that remain?
Town of Bridger is a confusing one. It is mostly people who were there prior to the Aeonians coming through, but they don't really go outside of their way to combat what is happening in Aeonia and outside of Penford. The main reason this is the case, the people who've been allowed to live, is because the town of Bridger has a very unique climate to it. For the Aeonians, they understand that if the bridge is going to be of use, it's best to keep the people happy with the way that they're currently living. It's unlikely that anyone in Aeonia would be rebellious, if that's what you're hoping for. But it is also the case that some might have grievances with the Aeonians that you might be able to exploit. What those are, I couldn't say for certain. It would definitely.
I'm merely taking temperature to see how we may be received.
Like everywhere else.
If others like yourself were to.
Like everywhere else in
make
Lavidia,
us.
it's lukewarm, but ready to be raging hot. To be sure. We have a small group. She kind of gestures towards the Smugglers' Den. We mostly move materials from the town of Mashon from here up into Bridger. It's good work. The people of Bridger are very specific on the goods that they are wanting, and Aeonius has a bit of a old mentality regarding certain transactional items, stuff that was already proven to be sound in Lavidia during the time of the conglomerate and even thereafter. But unfortunately, the Aeonians are a bit more draconian in their mentality. And a fun, quick bit of etymology, I just want to quickly get this, because this is me being a dork, and I'm hoping to kind of make Andy smile. But the term draconian in our parlance is it refers to something that's old, outdated, and kind of uberly strict. And the reason why that's the case in Draenarys is because in olden times, the humans of Draenarys were ruled by dragons during the War of Sword and Serpent. So the term actually carries over into the fantasy land. Sorry, me nerding out.
Good job.
But yeah, the Aeonians are a bit draconian in their mentalities.
You've been an excellent wealth of knowledge, Miss Tiffany. I appreciate your time.
I'm always a friend of the conglomerate.
That means very much to me. If you'll allow us a few more short minutes to talk over what we intend to do.
Again, take your time.
I'll have your answer.
I will have no problems if you do not wish to take the offer and wish to move on about your way. But of course, I'm more than willing to help, and will personally be the one who pilots the ship into Bridger if you are the one, or if you do decide to take the offer.
Thank you, miss. Well, what do you guys want to do?
Who we killing first?
Sounds like we might need to
could be
weaken
someone
the
at Bridger.
perimeters of Bridger. We're just gonna get smacked pretty good. If we just start causing a ruckus in Bridger, sounds like they've got a garrison on either side that could just ride into the city and rout us.
Yeah, but we could get some unrest going on with the civilians. Sounds like they're a little raw to the way they're being utilized.
It's very likely Aeonian riders that killed the peasants outside the tower, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Good old-fashioned rebellion.
What do you guys think? Take a boat, sneak into town, start doing a little political hoo-ha, or fuck off like we typically do?
Yeah, you can definitely ask them, because it wasn't really broached by Zach, but you can definitely ask Tiffany if she's willing to take you anywhere else. It just sounds like Bridger is where they typically go, and that's kind of the their typical goal. I'll go ahead and flip us back to the prime map since this map is
Appreciate it.
not super necessary.
Are we think?
Go ahead.
Akonsky Plains is what it was called. That's what
There's still the option. Did Flap move again?
Flap did move again. Yeah, it should actually be relatively close to at this point because you spent some time down there. It moves pretty quick. It's not super slow or anything. Like,
and how long does it typically stay in one place?
Don't know.
No.
And
That's also still a thing to treat with those goblins. Like, we don't really know what their opinion of the Aeonians is.
Well, what was
the Aeonians don't have a high opinion of them.
Yeah, we just got information that they have been targeted by the Aeonians. I mean, every time they move.
The writers are trying to get on board. Because if you think about it, a moving city, a flying city, would make a huge dent in Penford.
Hell of a fortress.
Well, in the Penford engagement, if you could drop a city into the city, then it's kind of a different circumstance invading-wise.
Ultimate siege.
Yeah, my city's on top of your city, and I'm fighting you now, bitch. You gotta fight my walls inside of your walls.
Sounds like they'd be pretty good allies then.
Could be. And if you look at the map, it is possible for her to get up to the root of the mount where Anvilvote is located.
That might cost a little more, though.
That is a good bit more distance.
Yeah, it'll take a little while for sure, but she could do it. And worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out there with the Flap, you can immediately run to Aeonis and fuck that town up, which was another objective possibility. Skipping over the town of Bridger entirely.
Goblins are kind of shrewd. They may want more, something more substantial than just doing it out of the good of their heart.
And the other thing too, I want to point out, just make sure we're clear. Bridger wasn't so much a control the town, get to control the town thing. It was more kind of a possible terrorism type activity, like disrupt
the supply line.
If the bridge is broken, then you win.
Yeah, but if the people are rioting,
Ooh.
Might be a little easier to break a bridge.
Oh, for
Go
sure.
to Flap, get some TNT.
Goblin's got that.
Goblin's definitely got that. Go underneath the bridge, set charges. Maybe some collateral damage. Don't worry about it.
This fucking guy.
Must do what we have to do for the conglomerate.
For the greater good.
Maybe we try to evacuate some houses or something.
Yeah,
they know
some innocents.
Oh, that's what the riots are about.
Also, learning more about like the interior of Bridger could prove useful. It's just the getting out of Bridger and doing so like stealthily. I mean, you could probably get out the way you came in, but yeah. The other options, just to kind of like make you kind of aware, map-wise, what we're looking at. You could go up to Amplevote and try and catch the Flap there. You could stop in Swordbreak. She'd probably be willing to travel you out that far. If you remember any reasons why you'd want to go to Swordbreak, it's up to you. You could go to the town of Mashon, which was just mentioned. It's the town that these smugglers are running out of into Bridger, and might have information as to why that's required. You could go into the Konsky Plains and search around there. There was the chapel that was mentioned, but hasn't really been kind of like explored much. You could learn more about it in Mashon. You could also just go to it directly. You know now, and I'll go ahead and post these on map and background, move them to the front here. Try to do that. That is not what I want. This is what I want. So you would know that there are currently forces outside of Bridger that are present. That
Aeonian forces.
Aeonian riders. Now, you don't know enough about the city to understand whether or not the suggestion that Jeremy had made could happen. Internal structure is important, as I'm sure you're aware. But you said, very specifically, Jeremy, if we fuck around in Bridger, they could just ride those forces in and murder us. Right?
No, that's what I said. I said they could ride
Oh,
us.
it wasn't Jeremy. Sorry, it was Steve. Sorry. Thank you. So yeah, that's something that could happen as far as you know. But maybe the structure of Bridger doesn't allow for that. You, again, don't know a lot about Bridger structure. Actually, I'm gonna give you a fun time because I know two of you have actually passed through Bridger. You had to have. There's no choice. Yeah, Uther and so when you were there, this is what it looked like.
Just like I remember it.
That's cool.
The gates outside of Bridger are not massive. They don't allow for a large force to move in quickly. So when they move their forces, they're disseminated. They're single file, effectively, moving through the town of Bridger. And so, in that essence, what you suggest is not really possible due to the narrow capacity that's kind of on offer here.
That's good.
It's very good. So, again, that's it. This part here, I just want to point that out. Snap zooming you to it. That's a clock tower, which you would have noted. It's the only kind of tall feature amidst all of Bridger. And then you would note, too, that this marketplace area, kind of like open area, actually rises up at specific hours. All the people who are on it kind of move off of it for a duration as it opens up, allowing for ships to pass underneath. Larger ships that pass from... We'll move back to the larger map now.
Well, that's probably the strongest part of the bridge.
There's a number of locks and mechanisms that move down the mountain to the north. And these ships that come down the mountain are coming from North Jernaris. So these ships are typically exiting out into the ocean. And Bridger still allows for those to be moved through.
So who controls Bridger?
The Bridgers.
It is not under Aeonian control then.
It is under Aeonian siege. And the Aeonians allow them to maintain their own kind of control of it. But they don't allow them to do anything that's like road-based. So they don't allow traffic merchant-wise from Bridger to Penford. They don't also allow trade to happen from boats that are coming down the river to them.
Okay, so two new options. We break the drawbridge in the up position, shuts down the supply line. We break the drawbridge in the down position, creates political discourse between Bridger and everybody trying to get through Bridger.
Which
means they send all of their troops down to figure out what the fuck's wrong with the bridge.
And that's Jernaris proper, right? That's old Heistrick. That's big deal shit.
Up north, up the river?
Mm-hmm.
Is what you're talking about?
All of a sudden their supply ships can't get through. They're gonna come find out why, and they're gonna stomp on Ionis for us.
I'm looking back through my old
I like
notes
that.
about sword break. Can you tell me if this is correct, John? You mentioned something a while back. The unucleator, something that sees the eye replicator in corpses. Is that
Correct.
sword break?
Yeah, there is an individual that was mentioned to you.
The worm guy told us at the dead place, right?
Yep.
And if on the flap area, I remember our leader telling us that if we meet with the flaps to mention his name because he has a pretty good relationship with them.
Mm-hmm. Lots of good notes here. So there's a couple of options. There's also other options that you could probably kind of dilly-dally make up. But again, Tiffany is pretty able to maneuver you. The only place that she's saying so far that she's going to charge you for, the only kind of discourse that you had with her suggestion-wise is Bridger. And the reason why she needs that coin to get you in there is because she's got a...
Safe travel.
It's not so much that, it's...
she has to find a way to let us in without letting everybody know that we got let in.
She's paying people to kind of keep their mouths shut.
Yeah, safe travel.
Yeah. I wasn't correcting you, Jeremy. I was correcting him. Sorry. You were right. I was explaining it to Brent. Sorry.
I kind of like breaking the bridge in the down position.
I think we should go to Flap because I think we can get a device to help with that, whether it's explosives or some sort of thing.
Do we think we can
bust
catch
it up?
Flap?
And two,
We know it's landing position, so
I
yeah.
want to hear John do New Jersey accents.
You might be able to even recruit a couple of their tinkerers to come and break the bridge with
Yeah,
us.
I love it.
That
That'd
is
be fun.
Fran.
I want to hear John do New Jersey accents. Good job remembering your own lore that you included in this realm, you piece of shit. That's great. Okay. Yeah.
All right, let's bother Tiffany again.
Okay.
As far as Do you know anything about? Do I know the name of that river? Anvil Vault.
So the Anvilboat River is the
The Hardy Hole.
no, the Black Ink River.
Oh, whatever. Oh yeah, I'll ask basically.
She says,
Are you willing to travel up that river? And are you familiar with it?
I am. Unfortunately, the only problem is the farthest up we can go is Reynard's Bridge. Once we make it to that point, it's impossible to kind of scale upwards with our craft. It's a limitation in our abilities due to the crafts we have available. But we could get you to Reynard's Bridge, no problem. From there, you can make your way up the mountain. It's a bit difficult if you were to employ any kind of steeds or mounts, but on foot, it's just a bit of a hike. And looking at you in your lot, it looks like you're, well, for the most part, a stout enough lot you could probably make the climb without issue.
Yeah, I'm a real tough guy. Thank you.
I was mainly referring to your Dromite friend.
Tiffany, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tiffany.
You are so welcome.
What would you? What kind of charge would there be to take us up
That's not a
to Renard's Bridge rather than Bridger?
It's not a terrible trek. It does cause us a bit of lack of.
It takes you off your trade route.
Correct.
I'm aware.
I would say that the same price I mentioned for Bridger would be more than fair. If you could do 25 apiece, that would be fine as well.
Are we all here, or is this just Bodhi's thing?
I'll invite her over if she's willing to chat with. I don't want to keep interrupting her smuggling duty.
Well, she said you and yours are free to enter into the space. So if you as a mob
Yeah,
want to run up on her,
come on over here. I can't remember every little thing.
My own curiosity, Riziko, you said you have watercraft, right?
No, I don't. I said if one of us did have boats.
I thought somebody did. Okay.
No.
I have land vehicle.
I put way too much.
I own a rowboat. It's in one of my pockets, but that's not getting us anywhere as well as these guys will.
No.
That's getting us drowned, probably.
If we want to, we can pay the 150 to get to Reynard's Bridge.
Yeah, that's absolutely an option. Any other places that you're suggesting? I know that you have Tiffany's ear.
We'll ask about Swordbreak. I'm not super sure what was
Swordbreak
of import about it.
Swordbreak could actually be lucrative for us. Yeah, I'd be willing to make that trip without issue. No cost.
Okay.
I might
Seems like the further we go from our objective, the cheaper it is.
I might have a request of you. You might have to speak to someone for me to maybe smooth talks between us and them. But yeah, I'd be okay with that.
If you need a smooth talker, I know a guy with a book full of puns.
I've got a lot of puns. You want to hear one?
Practicing all morning.
Sure, let's hear it.
Excellent. What do you get when the sunrise bends over?
I don't know.
The crack of dawn.
That was actually...
She's gonna charge us more.
She's not, because that was pretty funny.
That's an extra 5 gold ahead.
You're getting some kickback from Elizabeth in the Twitch here. She thinks you're doing great. Not kickback. You're getting some acknowledgement.
I got that one right from the bathroom. You guys couldn't hear me, but I was pretty proud of myself.
You're like, the crack of dawn!
I did say it out loud, even.
I would be willing to... I could take you to Swordbreak, no problem. I do wish to have some conversations with presence there. I haven't been to Swordbreak in a while, and our connections have kind of fallen off. It's been a while since we've been doing it because our main lucrative source is into Bridger and out. But Swordbreak could be lucrative, I think, at this time. And if you're willing to maybe talk to someone on our behalf, that would be best. I think that would be good. Free.
May I ask, I don't wish to pry in your business. Who is it or what is it about that you need smoothing over?
So we are familiar with a group who resides in Swordbreak. well, just outside of Swordbreak, rather, a thieves guild known as the Red Apples. They are quite well stocked financially due to their
Sounds very Tarantino. Please continue.
due to their indeed good note, good catch. We are aware that they have a very lucrative base due to their casino just outside of the town of Swordbreak, and we would like to very much get reconnected with them in moving anything that they're interested in moving. And so I would need you to go and speak to their leader.
Okay. So Bridger, rather expensive. Head towards Flap Flap. I'm still just concerned whether or not we catch the Flap Flap schedule, which is half the price, or Swordbreak, which has a casino. I'm learning. For free. What's everybody thinking?
And of course, there's still Michonne still on the table. They're still just going up into the Muskonskis. There's still other options, like being dropped off near Bridger, which was probably not a good one. if you want to be run down by Ionian riders, that's the one to pick.
It's been a little while for me.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've died.
I'm nostalgic.
Like a couple of days, I think.
I say either.
It was whole Lance in a long time.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Trampled to
The
death.
specific, not just dying. It's like the specific type of death. Gotcha. Yep. Sorry, I'll leave the table to you. Go nuts.
I'd say Renner's Run or Swordbreak would be good, because either way it goes, we can either, if we don't catch the Flap Flap or find another spot that we can stop with them in, we can go directly towards Aeonius, which is like a main goal. And if we do happen to get up to the dwarves and Ancrag and
not Ancrag, but
Amblebolt.
Amberbolt, sorry. If we do happen to get up to Amberbolt and the Flap Flap aren't there, we could probably still maybe, get some good relations there, maybe even find some weapons or equipment to help us. Same thing with Swordbreak. We don't know what's in that city. We could find something that could help us take out.
It would be nice to be in a city in general.
Well, what notes do you have on Amblebolt so far? Have you asked anybody about that yet?
No, I don't think we have.
Nothing. I got nothing.
Well,
you don't get Tiffany back over here.
Okay. Well, Tiffany would tell you we haven't really had much contact with Amblebolt in a while, to be completely honest. It's gone.
Anvilvote or the Flap Flap, the people of Flap Flap. I understand they're very near to Anvilvote as we speak.
Well, no, the people of Flap Flap we've had conversation with. They park just south of here, not too far off, and we've had some pretty good trade routes with that town. I can't remember the name of it. We just call it Flap Flap because it's typically only trading season when they land. But Amvilvote, we used to trade with quite a bit. They have sky ships. The dwarfs and the people that live up there are kind of rich, well-to-do people from Penford who decided to start mining into this mountain because of the strangely raw materials that are kind of present within. The Black Ink gets its name because of the refuse that's kind of deposited into the river from Amvilvote.
Okay. Was it Ezekiel or Uther who had been through Anvilvote before?
Nobody's been in
or just
Amvilvote.
Nearby it?
So, real quick, if you've been nearby it, we'll say Uther has, just because he's more of a mountain traveler, so he probably would have stuck to the mountains than the plains. But Amvilvote is a 700-foot tall spire, like a massive tower of stone.
It's way up on a buff.
And the town is literally on the top. Like, it's just a flat. It's just a big ass chunk of stone.
He might have been near the mountain, but he wasn't anywhere near the city.
Yeah, it is. It's
the big icon on the mountaintop here.
Okay.
But
so she's willing to take us as far as this bridge,
Renner's Bridge. Yep, or Swordbreak, or Bridger, or Michonne. Which is the
What's
town.
She charging for Michonne, and where's Michonne for me? Is that this town just north of us?
Yeah, she says we had plans to head to Michonne anyways. Oh god, I've been broadcasting my GM map this whole time. She says, I have been interested in heading to Mashon to pick up some materials from individuals interested in moving stuff to Bridger, so that'd be free of charge. But in all honesty, she says, I don't understand the nature of your plan, but I assume its focus is either Bridger or the Aeonians. I would say that it'd probably be best for you to either enter the town of Bridger proper or make your way west. Michonne probably doesn't have much for you there, and there won't be a lot of other avenues besides the one I'm providing you to enter Bridger.
I agree with that. What sort of schedule are you on to enter Bridger? If we were to
We are not guided.
need to leave Bridger.
She says, we are not guided by Atavius. We could probably muster a ship for you within an hour of you requesting it.
No. If we were in Bridger and wish to leave Bridger,
Yeah, if you were
could
wanting
be there
to leave,
in an hour.
we could get you out in an hour. Yeah,
That's radical.
we're not the only ones here. My sister Liza, she is in Bridger right now. We sometimes switch positions.
Okay, Tiffany. All right. And thank you again for calling me so tough and cool and handsome. Where do you guys want to go?
Exactly what she said.
I personally think Swordbreak would probably be our best
vote for
option
Swordbreak.
because it's free, and if we get there and talk over everything and we have our gold, then we might be able to buy things in Swordbreak to help us later on in the future. Because we don't know what the
Free
cost is in any of these
Civilization
places.
Casino. All good. We got one vote for Swordbreak.
Wait, so are we saying instead we're going to save the money we save on the boat, we're going to spend at the Swordbreak Casino?
We're gonna win
Yeah,
more.
that is exactly what Brent said.
No.
He just
Steve, you
said,
don't understand. We're gonna win all this money.
he said we're going to spend all the money we're saving at the casino. That is exactly what Brent just said.
Beautiful.
So, Steve, are you voting Flap Flap still?
I mean, I'd like to go to Flap Flap at some part on this escapade, but I kind of want to see what a casino is in this world is like. You know, Roland Rock, he's a man of traveling, never been to a casino. That could be a thing.
Love
And
it.
there's that weird thing there though, that the Unucleator.
Yeah, something about the Worm Man had sent us about
strange
Swordbreak, but also casino. So technically 4 pros to Casino City. Andy, where do you want to go?
I like gambling, Nick says.
Did someone say blackjack? Silas, how you feeling?
This is 5-card Monty. I will set up a table.
They should have some good food there since there's lots of traffic. So I'm down.
Indubitably.
Did you ever see the movie Almost Heroes where like half the crew just abandons ship and decides to go to New Orleans? The food alone, sir, is worth the trip.
That's exactly what's happening in this game right now.
That's all this is.
The rest of the game is just going to take place at some Swordbreak.
Oh, shit.
90 sessions.
It's becoming a Scorsese movie.
What do you think?
I got distracted, but I'm on board. Let's do a thing.
Fuck it, we're going to Swordbreak. We're going to hit it big.
Okay. So she would say that absolutely fine. She can be ready to leave within the hour if you and yours are prepared. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have...
It would be early.
Later in the day, right?
Late afternoon,
It'd be early afternoon.
Because we traveled from tower to mountain to here.
Yeah, so it was a total of 3 out of the 5 hexes, so we're talking mid-afternoon. Or early afternoon.
Maybe we should
2 o'clock.
Wait until we can have breakfast at Tiffany's, and then we can go.
She would say, we're not unaccustomed from traveling at night on the waters.
Oh, don't tell me you didn't catch it, John. Oh.
Breakfast at Tiffany's, I got it. But
Come on, man. I was going to say, I was like, what?
But she would say, keeping it back in, I mean, good pun, not worthy of inspiration or anything.
I already got it.
You know, like all of Andy's have been, but his characters are in the inspiration, not the player. So that is different.
And you say we've got nothing in common.
What I was trying to say is that she says it's probably best that we travel at night for some of this journey, to be completely honest. And the reason why that's the case is she knows that the Aeonians do have some crafts some naval vessels out and about that are present. They've hired on a number of pirates who have been seizing Levidian ships that have passed through Bridger illegally.
Pirate scum, huh? No good.
You would recall that you saw such a ship being attacked
Yeah,
by
we
pirates.
did.
Yeah.
It was potentially our fault a little bit. Almost.
Hey, we're not the ones responsible for lighting
we
lighthouses.
we did say how irresponsible it was. The lighthouse was not up, and then left.
Somebody paid a price for that.
Oh, this is a great game.
Yeah, what do you guys? When does she recommend
She recommends
cover
leaving.
of night or daytime?
She recommends cover of night
Is
because
everybody cool with that?
they're skilled at traveling across the water. at night.
For real though, do you guys not want to go to Swordbreak, or do you want to go somewhere else? I didn't want to.
No, Swordbreak's totally cool. We get to do some
I'm
on the
sold.
water role playing for this group.
Sold on Swordbreak.
Sounds like Sword breaks the
Okay.
place, right?
Okay.
Okay. So if that's the case, the boat moves about the same speed as walking. So it'll be 5 hexes per day, and we're going to be moving 2 here during the remainder of the day. What I would like for you to pick representatives for each one of those points of hexing and roll a d20. We're still doing random encounters.
Andy, Brent, and Jody.
9? Okay.
16
9, 4.
and 4.
Okay. Yeah, so the rest of the day, traveling on water, you kind of load up. Tiffany has 2 members of her crew. It's a small ship, but it looks like it can hold about 10, right? So she has 2 members that kind of come with her, and you're basically set in where the cargo would go. And they kind of put planks down that allow you to sit and then kind of nail them to the boat where they would put crates instead. And as you're kind of, seated, they start to travel, get it underway. They do have a small sail that they set up, but it is peculiar. Normally for smaller ships like this, they'd use like a triangle sail or like a square sail. But the sail that they use actually has kind of a hexagonal shape to it with a triangle cut out of the bottom portion, which is very confusing looking, but it allows for easy traffic on the craft and still manages to catch a decent amount of wind to allow it to move. They move the ship around the coast, keeping relatively close to it. And you would see that as you're moving, you see that on this kind of edge of the coast, this peninsula here, there appears to be a small settlement. And unless it's kind of, brokered, if any conversation's had, she doesn't really make note of it. It seems to be kind of moving out and away from it as night begins to fall. But you can tell the settlement's there because there are lights kind of present, and you can see the silhouettes of this small little town. The best way I can kind of explain it visually is a lot of stucco buildings, kind of low stucco buildings, with the lights kind of glowing out of unglassed windows, window spaces, and a number of large kind of ports that appear to have kind of rounded ends to them.
It's like a little pueblo.
Yeah.
I'll bite. What's that? Where's that?
Tiffany says, "Oh, place we're trying to avoid. Actually, that's the it's known as the cove. We typically keep away from it due in part to the
Pirates.
They don't like being called that, but that is pretty much what they are.
What? I'm sorry, I missed that word. Pirates?
Yeah.
What do they prefer to be called?
They call themselves the Seven Sails.
That's a pretty cool name, though.
It is
It a
indeed.
cool name. Nick sings a sea shanty.
I believe the reason why they call themselves that is because they have 3 crafts, and each one of them has 7 sails. Larger craft, kind of battleships from older times. The conglomerate used to wage conflicts against a number of different coastal peoples present here. And, well, these larger battlecraft are what they use to siege other craft. Based on our description of the ship, you would know that the ships that sieged the boat you saw off the coast to the south a while ago, not the same.
Okay. Yeah, we'll press on. She doesn't want to be here. I don't want to be here.
During the night, you can all sleep, or you can have people kind of taking watches at your leisure. But I'm going to need a total of, because she will be sleeping and her companions will be piloting.
I'll take a watch.
Uther's laying as flat on the ground as he can with his hands over his head.
All right.
He's a little seasick.
Give me 5 d20 rolls.
He's never been on a boat before.
I'll do one.
Good.
That's a 3.
So, 1, 2,
3,
3,
6,
4.
18.
Rolling rock.
12.
Hold on, checking my map marker.
We need one more. Jeremy, give us one more.
Okay. Steve, go ahead and roll me a d100.
46.
I got a 19.
Okay. So as you kind of move into... You got a 19?
It's
After
the
Steve's
Kraken.
18, yeah. Immediately after the 18.
Give me
So
the
12,
D100 for
6,
you.
3, 18, 19 were the
Yeah,
20s.
we're about to have a real bad night.
Give me the d100 for you, Jeremy.
24.
Not too shabby, actually. Okay, so let me get through the 46. So as you kind of make your way along the coast, you start to notice, those of you who are awake, a bit of a drizzle kind of coming in. At first, it kind of feels like sea spray, but then you start to realize that it's not. It is very much the case that there's a bit of rain kind of coming down. Tiffany says, we're going to try and move to ground to whoever is awake. It seems like there's a bit of bad weather up ahead. But before you kind of see the coast again, because you're a ways off of it, not too far away, but like far enough away that you're just able to kind of see semblance of land, but not the coast directly, kind of start to feel the bad effects of the weather arising. I would like for the group who we didn't really discuss watches. This would be during the...
I said I was going to take one.
Okay.
We do have a normal watch cycle that we follow.
Yeah. Give it to me.
Hold on.
I need whoever's
Finding it.
on second.
Standard watch cycle that we determined previously. Rolling Rock first, Uther second, Silas third.
Uther, you're
I'll
away.
take Uther's spot because he was seasick.
Oh, was he? Oh, I forgot.
He did talk about this is the first time he's been on a boat, so he's.
I'm
putting
so
his head down.
sorry. I'm the worst DM today. I have had a bit to drink. Sorry, it's I didn't drink a lot last night.
That's why he's laying on the ground with his hands over his head the whole time,
I would
trying
like-
not to look anywhere.
I would like for everybody to roll a con saving throw.
So he looks green, but nobody notices.
Uther, due to your mountain's aspect nature, you have disadvantage for this con roll.
Ooh,
You
boy.
still did really good, buddy.
He's holding it down,
Okay.
choking himself so he can't vomit.
Okay. So, Rolling Rock, you are sick. Okay, you have the poisoned status condition as long as you're on
Oh
the boat.
no!
Okay. Nyx,
Dang.
same. This is the most water you've ever seen. You've never really been out on the water. Like, you've looked out from Penford and have always been like, okay, that's over there. Fine, whatever. But now you're in it, and it's like, as you're kind of moving about. And surprisingly, Uther, no, you're fine. Like, I know you would normally kind of want to be. I mean, you can automatically fail if you want. If you want to do it for role-playing sake, I'll let you. But based on the dice roll, you're fine.
No, it's just anxiety.
Not a full
He's
failure.
just anxious.
He's not happy.
It's more an anxiety than an actual failure. And
He's keeping it together, but it's
For
because
Ezekiel-
he's on the floor.
I'll let you know, you dead on hit the DC, so you're doing okay. Probably like there's like that little like like, oh, that tastes like vomit, but not like, oh, that's actually vomit.
It's watching everybody else that sort of puts them over the edge, though.
Yeah, for sure. But
That
yeah,
doesn't bother me at all.
It's
So
to be
just
poisoned
fucking
by
water.
my dwarven resilience if it's against being poisoned.
so no, it's not against actual poison. It's against the poison condition.
Okay.
Let me double check here.
No, it shouldn't be. Nothing entered your body. You're not poisoned. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
the
just
same
that I'm
effect.
just giving you the condition. I do want to check though, because they do have iron gut. Like, he's not wrong. Bear with me. I'm going to make a ruling. Storm resilience. You have advantage on saving throws against poison. Yeah, it's a poison specifically. I'm not poisoning you. It's just seasickness. And poison is the condition you're getting. So yeah, you're still sick.
Oh, my rumbly tumbly. A rolling rock, not a floating rock.
Well, something's rolling inside of you. It's vomit.
Silas keeps his head steady with the rest of his body moving like a chicken.
Oh, I love
You're
that
like a
shit.
chicken.
Because the reptile head.
Yep.
Oh,
Awesome.
that is so fucking badass. Gain inspiration for that shit.
Yeah.
So as you're kind of moving along, that storm gets really hot and heavy. Like it's you can see kind of like flashes of lightning. Those of you who are awake are very, very kind of able to see in these kind of pockets of flashing the entirety of the boat. The music that I'm playing is way too calm for this. Go ahead and shift that to something a bit more dramatic, I think. As you're kind of like visibly seeing everything kind of popping into light due to this lightning, the wind starts to hit a bit heavier at this point too. And it causes the sail to do this very weird thing where it'll kind of be full and pushing you in the direction, then it'll kind of snap and kind of like pop into the opposite direction and cause the ship to kind of roil as the wind seems to be kind of cyclic. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. At this point, those of you that are awake can do what you like, but you definitely realize that Tiffany is waking up the other crew members, or rather reverse that, her crew members are waking up Tiffany, and they're all preparing to kind of like move the ship towards shore. So if you'd like to help in any way, if you have vehicles land trained, you can help. If you don't have it trained, you can help untrained. The DC will be set higher if you are
You
untrained.
said vehicles land, right?
No, vehicles water, sorry.
Okay, nobody has that.
You can inspire.
Okay, I will
only
inspire.
only your specific team members. They're not rolling. They have a base set. I already know what they're kind of doing on their end. So your party members, if they're helping, you can.
Okay, so who's helping?
I don't think I can because I'm throwing up.
Silas
Yeah, well,
probably should help.
I'm
He's
mostly
I can
throwing
help,
up,
yeah.
too.
You can help.
By staying out of the way.
If you're sickened, you can still help. You just have disadvantage on the roll.
I will help.
Guys,
I'm
give
gonna
Laura's
get
helping
to
guidance
the.
instead.
Yeah,
I'll
you
give
can cast guidance.
inspiration on to Silas then.
Silas.
And Rolling Rack has Mariner's armor, so he's a professional at this.
Ooh.
So Silas,
Ooh.
if you want to, go ahead and make a vehicle's water check. This is going to require strength. So it'll be vehicle's water. It'll query what ability score you need to use, and strength is the one I want.
So just click the strength.
So yeah, it should have like a pull down, and strength is the one you want for vehicle's water.
I don't see that.
Oh,
I don't
do
think
you
he
have-
has
You don't have
vehicle's
vehicle's water. Sorry, just click strength.
No.
That's
The
not
save-
saving throw. No, the one to the left, strength.
The ability.
The
Yeah.
ability. Far left,
He's almost there.
Yeah, the very top row.
top
Yeah.
left.
It's where your numbers are that
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
he's got it.
your
He's
stats.
getting it.
Anybody want to? Or you have a bardic inspiration dice? Do you want to spend it? I'm not telling you whether you failed or succeeded or not. I'm just letting you see the
Me?
result. Yeah, and
Yeah, I'll use it.
you have a D4 from guidance as prayers are being thrown at you from Rolling Rock.
So the inspiration is a D8.
I'm sorry, the prayers are probably like, where should guide you? Yes, the mountain and the
Get us to land.
Roll
a
another
D8.
D8.
A D8 for the bardic inspiration, and then what about the? Oh, geez, what about the
D4
guidance?
for the guidance.
Oh my
Show
word.
it.
Crushing it.
Okay,
No,
You
this is
handsome
normal.
devil.
We got it. This is what we expect.
Okay.
So
so
We
this
need
is
to do
right.
19.
he starts kind of issuing orders out to you as you're kind of like, I can help, and you kind of like start doing things, and she starts having you pull, drag, and kind of help. In the turmoil of it all, the storm starts kind of blasting everybody awake. Rain is kind of just showering down onto the ship, and people are kind of forcing the water off with buckets in whatever they have on offer. It's a very tense, dramatic scenario where the ship is oftentimes kind of just moving up and down these waves, being kind of dispensed and thrown about. And in the end of it all, after the climax of the storm, the ship is battered, the sail is completely destroyed, and everybody who has gear, we have to discuss kind of what happens with your itemry. So if you have rations, however many rations you have that amount. It's half of your rations have basically been waterlogged and soiled.
Damn it.
Complete garbage. And
just to check real quick, you said we were below deck in a cargo.
there's no below deck. Yeah, it's a
No,
small
it's-
craft.
Okay.
We're sitting on little makeshift benches.
Yeah, it's a very tiny, small craft. It
Okay,
is.
that's fine.
It's seaworthy, but it's not. Yeah, it's not a badass big ship. The other thing I want to note is if you have any ingredients that would be considered food items, if you have more than one, all of those are now halved as well.
What?
Residium that you have on offer,
Fuck.
1/4 of it is gone, so 75% remains. Round it up in your favor. Unless it's inside of a bottle and it's been denoted as being inside of a bottle or vial or glass jar or something to that effect. But shift spices
I didn't get ahead of that. So.
won't be affected. And then the other thing that is basically completely ruined, if you had torches, there was enough water to basically clear them of their capability of being utilized as torches. Torches are kind of put to a bit of pitch and oil inside of the kind of head of the torch.
They're just sticks anymore.
They're just sticks now. You. That's all you lose, though.
Does it mess anything with like a tinderbox or no?
Tinderbox is fine. Tinderbox is so. Just so you know,
Tinderbox is like sealed up.
Well,
Gotcha.
also what a tinderbox is for your understanding. You went to school and you ever have like the strikers, like flint and tinder strikers? It's that inside of a box. It's like a lighter. That's all a tinderbox is.
Gotcha.
Oh, it's got tinder inside of it. It's got like pre-charred.
Yeah. So the tinder's to hold the flame, but the box portion and the striker portion is just flint and steel that kind of rub against each other and let the tinder burn. But it's fine.
Okay.
Do poison ingredients count as food ingredients for this?
Were they inside vials?
No, spotted mushrooms that I had from a cave.
So they would consider, that's an ingredient.
Okay.
So half of your amount drops. If you only have one of that item, it's fine.
Let me quick check. Lost some residuum.
You should have had a bunch of mushrooms on you.
Potions. I gave them to Chody a while back.
Ooh, you know what's good? Our tadpoles are
The mushrooms you and I had were
Oh,
only
good.
for making poison.
The other thing you'll note,
Did those tadpoles escape?
They were in jars.
They're in jars.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh man, we gotta.
What happened to my loot?
no, it's
So
fine.
you have spotted mushrooms. They're poison.
Jeremy-
not
Yeah,
food.
I cut mine in half.
24.
So I could.
They're not food.
I don't know that.
You've been told that.
You don't know that.
Okay.
You don't know
then
that. It's
that's
in the
fine.
soup.
I didn't know if I'd been told or not. I'm like, then I don't know
We've
that.
been microdosing and we are now immune to all poison.
Bodhi's been trying to kill us.
So what you'll
I
note
don't think I have any mushrooms from you.
is that as the stars are kind of lightening and the night is kind of coming back to kind of being visible outside of the clouds and the storm that you were just in, Tiffany is very concerned. And the reason why she's concerned is clear to anybody who's now awake, which probably everybody, to be honest. You can't see the coast. She says the only thing we can do is wait until we get a bit more visibility on the stars so we can kind of figure out where we're at, or at least try to, she says. This has never been a problem for us in the past. This is a rare occurrence. During the next segment, where we have another random encounter portion, there is a bit of cloud overhang. I would like for, if anybody has navigation tools as a tools option, you can go ahead and make a check. If not, Tiffany's basically going to use the static number I'm rolling here for herself.
Oh, I have something to help her. What's it called? Orb of direction. I can tell her exactly where's north.
Very useful. Okay, cool.
Nice.
Okay. So with that, she says it would probably be best for us at this point looking at the situation, to just continue westward, and then we can hopefully hit the coast where Swordbreak is located. If we try and steer too far north, we might get inundated by that storm once again. We don't know where it is set or where it is going, but we've passed out of it. I assume we've been disposited south of it. And that would actually prove to be true. So she will continue westward. And I would like everyone in the table to go ahead and make a perception check. Switch the music up. This is a bit too action-packed for back on the road again. Let's do...
I got a 13, but if someone wants to just... We could get a 29.
If you're poisoned, you have disadvantage on ability checks.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I could have a 20 if somebody wants to help me out.
Are you poisoned?
Yep.
Nope, I passed it.
Okay. So
no, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking...
If somebody wants to spend inspiration on Ezekiel, you can get a 20.
14's the high.
I'll give it to him.
Okay. So you're passing through the area, Ezekiel, and everyone's kind of awake, kind of up and at it. I will say that due to the storm and your failure to kind of integrate into it, people will be kind of rolling Constitution saves at the end of this rest for exhaustion purposes. This is too peppy too. I need something darker. This seems good. Okay, so as you're kind of passing through this area, there is a certain level of calmness compared to the waters that you were just passing through. This is like an hour or two afterwards. And everyone's kind of like, trying to maintain their, get to a level of dryness that is comfortable. And as you're kind of looking around, Ezekiel, it almost looks like the water around you is lumpy. And as you kind of look a little bit closer, you realize that there's stuff kind of floating in the water around you. And as you kind of notice this, you realize that one of the lumps is about to hit the side of the boat. Doesn't look like it's going to hit it with any kind of like drastic amount of impact. You are just kind of now like floating, not like bursting through the water or anything at any speed due to the lack of a sail. Yeah.
Can I holler that out to people and see if we can try to not hit it, just in case?
Yeah, so they start kind of pulling out the oars, removing them from their kind of pittons, and moving them to kind of push the thing. And as they do so, it seems that whatever they're hitting kind of turns and spins about. And as it does so, the face of a dead person kind of rises up to meet you. Like as this person's kind of flipped over by the oar. And the person who flips it, the sidekick of Tiffany, kind of like, what the fuck?
Like they died maybe in the storm or from something else.
The gangrenous nature of the corpse leads you to determine that they've probably been out here for a while. Floating. But not to the point where the corpse has actually become waterlogged to sink. So in between those two kind of states.
Gotcha.
Does this look like they drowned, or does they have like any wounds or anything on them?
Yeah, so looking at them, you would actually note that there are a pretty decent sized number of people who are kind of present out here. It looks like some of them appear to have conglomerate armaments, like leathers and kind of conglomerate gear, and the others appear to have a foreign, unknown kind of armament. The ones that are not conglomerate armed appear to have slightly longer arms than a normal human.
God damn it.
Damn long arm tribe. I don't want to fish anybody out of the water. It's surprising that there's no sea life trying to eat them.
The other thing that's
them floating away from wreckage I could buy, but that they're unbothered.
There's no wreckage.
I can buy that. They could float away from it.
Or maybe like the creature that attacked him was big enough to eat the wreckage.
not eat all the protein?
Yeah, why would you not eat the flesh? That's a great question. But they definitely look like they've been out here for a while.
Will the wreckage sank from such a big attack?
I don't want to fish one into the boat. Yeah, I don't imagine I recognize anybody conglomerate side for sure.
Are there any specific conglomerate markings, like title or station?
Rank, yeah.
Great question. History roll.
I'm asking the group because it's not a thing that I could call out, but people that are well versed in it.
Whoever wants to try and track what they might have been, go ahead and make a history check.
You want us trained in history?
Nope.
I'll try it. 9. Ezekiel does better.
Ezekiel, you've been paying attention, and Uther.
I had a 1. I did not think I'd get this.
Uther and Ezekiel, your time in Penford has kind of taught you to pay attention to your kind of specific endeavors. Either you spent some time on the wall, kind of shooting out at Aeonian riders, and of course, Ezekiel, you spent some time in the watch. So you would actually understand that the people that you're looking at, these dead conglomerate agents, servicemen, actually appear to have been crew to a skyship.
Okay. I want to scan the horizon for any flying vessels.
No. And there are 2 types of armament here, right?
There's the conglomerates, and then there's the Denisopans. The Denisopans being the long-armed invaders from the west that you haven't yet to encounter, but are the reason why the Aeonians are attacking Bedford, because they're being pushed from the west.
To everyone, including Tiffany and her crew, are they known to also have skyships?
Denisopans? Yeah. I believe so. I mean, to my knowledge. I haven't ever seen one, but I assume so.
I mean, it wouldn't explain a lack of wreckage, but...
Are there many bodies?
I'd say a dozen.
That's not a small.
Looks like more Denisopans than conglomerate, to be fair.
Huh. Well, nothing much I can do but report it to Kellis when we get an opportunity.
Absolutely.
I'll try to get an idea where we are.
Are there any glaring symbols from our own side that should try to be collected and returned, or?
No, not so much.
Not like a dog tag situation or something.
No.
We're just on open water. There's no landmarks, anything like that that would denote this area.
Okay. Correct. But yeah, you travel further on, and it comes to a point where night kind of ends, and you can start seeing the sunlight kind of piercing through the waters. And I don't currently have... Actually, hold on. Let's see how quickly I can get it out there.
Do your best, Joe.
I'm doing my best. Always.
Everyone here is proud of you.
Oh, yeah. This is great.
Good shrug, Jeremy. Good timing off the shrug.
By the way, preemptive thank you, Elizabeth. So this is the kind of view that you're getting to. You're moving out into the waters. You're heading westwards, and you feel like Tiffany has a pretty solid kind of like positioning with the craft. But as you're kind of making your way, and the sunlight's kind of piercing through the waters, these very clear crystal blue waters, you would see the following. The boat is the boat.
Oh, a little tug, looks like a little tugboat.
But you would see that it looks like you can see down maybe about 50 or so feet. There appears to be a temple of some sort of structure directly beneath the waters.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
Rolling
I'd love to be down there, but I can't swim very well.
There are tales of cities underwater heard on my travels.
Jeez, you guys are gonna make me dive down there.
Silas can guide you most of the way.
True.
I could
You
give
can hold
you
his breath for like 10 minutes
inspiration.
at a time or something.
Tiffany,
Is he still poisoned? Is he still poisoned?
I would say that the sickness will last. It would have only lasted like through the night.
Okay.
It will continue on, dependent. Everybody, go ahead and make a Constitution roll because the night was pretty turmoil.
Fudge.
If you
We're
sorry,
on calm waters now,
hold
though,
on.
right?
Yeah, only if you passed your if you did not pass, if you're poisoned, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw. Is what I mean to say.
Nope.
So, Nix, you are still poisoned for the
Yay.
duration of the day, and you also gain 1 level of exhaustion. And
So
then,
those of us who were not poisoned
Yeah.
are exempt from this roll.
correct. If you were poisoned, then you're making this roll. And Rolling Rock, you roll a 13.
Yep.
You are not exhausted, but you are not poisoned either. You kind of got over it. But you
I'm just going
definitely
to go ahead and pick up the condition.
You got your sea leg.
Fucking water.
you're kind of like over it now. You've been through the worst of it, and this is like, it's like you get onto the boat, and it's like, oh, this is sickening, and then like it gets so bad that like just being on the boat regular is now normal for you.
Great.
But
That's
Nix,
acclamation.
you are definitely not a fan of this whole being on the ocean thing.
He's barfing up slugs.
But yeah,
When were you eating slugs?
Waste a perfectly good
When were
slug.
you,
I
when
don't
were you
judge
gonna
you.
tell us you've been
I
eating
don't-
slugs?
I don't judge you. Mind your own
We just see
business.
them coming out of you. We never once saw you eat one, and now we're very concerned.
Hey, the list just says rations, all right?
Oh, hey!
Oh, check the tadpole jars. Those kind of look like slugs.
Yeah, I'll go through my. Yeah, you better not eat mine.
He gets
Mind
real smart
flayer.
all of a sudden.
so Tiffany would say that I've never seen this before.
Slug puke? Us either.
Well, that too,
Believe me,
but
this is the first for me.
I don't know exactly what you want to do about it, but this is kind of outside of my knowledge base. If you'd like, I can continue traveling. We can continue moving towards your destination. But I guess
Just at a glance from the structure, from what we can see at the surface, could we try to determine what it is, or would that be?
so. It appears to be some sort of temple. It's about 50 feet down. Looks like there's some sort of sun symbol on it, which means that it's probably Atavian, which means the god Atavius, god of law and order, and also chaos and bedlam. Because remember, the warring triumvirate is a dichotomy within themselves. It looks very old, very ancient, but also very well preserved, despite it being under seawater. It being 50 feet below you means that it's probably quite big. So how deep it goes must be deep because you're a little ways off the coast.
The peak of it is 50 feet below us.
Correct. That very
Okay.
tippy top there, the sun part, with kind of that kind of capstone there. Yep, that's about 50 feet below you.
Like I'm trained in history. If you guys really want me to just dive down 50 feet, it'll take me 12 seconds to swim that because I'm a dwarf. I can probably get a good enough look at it that I might be able to recall something. But I'd also
If you're
feel better
volunteering, I'm not gonna make
I
you.
feel
go
better if
down.
Silas came with me, as like a cool bodyguard.
Yeah,
It
Silas
would make
can
a
swim
cool
in 'em.
bodyguard.
Is Silas like amphibious? Like, can he breathe water too, or?
He can hold his breath for a long
Okay.
time, and he
About
has
an
a swim
hour,
speed.
yeah.
Gotcha. I knew he had the swim speed. I wasn't sure if he could, breathe
He's
water or not.
very popular with the ladies.
He's also very popular.
What's the
with
swim
ladies.
speed?
30 feet, just base.
Oh, okay. Same as walking.
So yeah, if you guys are curious, I don't mind.
I mean, when are we going to have this opportunity again?
I will
That's
stop
true, yeah.
you.
How many sunken
Do-
temples do you really come across, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Silas, let's do it. I'm gonna swan dive off the front of
It
the
is
boat.
weird how soon after that,
So Tiffany will.
clockwork locked temple, we find a sunken temple.
I would take off the stuff that I feel like I don't need, so it doesn't slow me down, and just take the
Just going raw.
just my normal great sword, not the giant slayer one. I'm gonna take short swords actually.
Okay.
That way I can have more attacks.
Piercing works well underwater.
Huh?
Piercing works very well underwater.
Okay.
Slashing
then I'm
and
gonna
bludgeoning has disadvantage to attack rolls.
Okay, and there we go. Short swords.
Okay.
I've
So-
got an extra of these white scale shields if you guys want to get down there faster.
like hold on to
Oh,
it.
Yeah,
I have
just hold it till you hit the bottom and
Just
let go.
anchor your way down.
I have my 2 shields if I want to do that.
That's what he's
Well, you
talking
can
about. He's
keep
going-
yours. I have another one.
You brought those onto this boat, this rickety boat.
Carried him. I wanted to be a shield
That's why.
fighter, man. That'd be
That's why
awesome.
last night sucked.
It's called ballast.
This ship is stronger than we thought because it's got 4 of those little things, those white skill shields on it.
But yeah, you're jumping in, swimming down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Let me move.
I'll hit guidance on Steve.
Nick, can you like tell
And
me
Roll
a
it
I
up.
pun
can
or
give him
something
the
for inspiration?
Yeah, for sure.
How about a nice nautical pun or like something about sinking?
Oh gosh.
getting-
A nautical
Hey,
pun.
Rolling Rock. What's a
Nautical
pirate?
pun.
What's a pirate's favorite letter?
I don't know. What is a pirate's favorite letter?
You'd think it'd be R, but it truly be the C.
Oh,
Get in there, Chip.
I love it, and then I dive into the water.
Next looks at Bodhi. Mm,
Oh, I see. Hold on. Bear with me. The map format is fucked. I see why.
Yeah,
though.
the scale is up. I didn't think we were sticking around here long enough for it to matter. But now they could get attacked by that angry trout I was talking about.
Rowdy the Trouty.
He is rowdy.
Does this ship have an anchor?
It does, and Tiffany and crew have already dispensed it.
Okay. It's last resort. That's your way back up.
User, and I think that's everybody, right? I'm not going to put out tokens for Tiffany and them, but just assume they're on the ship, okay? All right, you swim down. Rolling Rock, you'll need to make an athletics check. Silas, you will not. You have a swim speed.
I thought I have swimsuit because of my mariner's armor.
Oh, you have a swim speed because of the Mariners armor. Never mind. Thank you.
That's why I'm doing it.
I apologize. So
And if you die underwater, you automatically float to the top.
Exactly.
the two of you swim
Doesn't get my
down.
stuff.
So when you first see it, you'll note that it appears to be some sort of temple structure. It looks like it's kind of like a facade where steps kind of run up to the top. It does look like there's an entrance, but it looks like it's currently barred. And I'd like for both of you to make a perception check.
29.
Rolling Rock, you see that there is a strange-looking stone that kind of catches the sunlight for you, set inside of a structure directly above the door I had mentioned. Looking at it, it appears to be kind of greenish, but it seems the color seems to be distorted by the kind of color of the ocean water.
It said so it's a stone and it catches the sunlight like coming down
For
through the
you,
water?
yeah. Like as you're kind of making your way down and you kind of see it, just kind of catching it out of the corner of your eye as you're making your way down. Silas seems to be focused on kind of getting to the steps, but you kind of see it as you're kind of making your way. It's kind of like right at the top there.
I'll swim up to it if that seems to be like a point of interest and take a closer look.
Being stone cutting, you'd realize that the stone is kind of set inside of there, but it's kind of set in a way where it's almost like it's been forced into the orifice that it's settled into. Like it's you grab a hold of it and remove it, or it looks like it's been kind of pierced into the stone structure that it's in by another hand. The facade that's kind of present there, it's a very foreign, alien-looking face, and looking to the right and to the left, you can see a broken statue to the left and a statue that's still standing to the right that seem to have the similar face, like it's a creature of some sort of humanoid or serpentine creature.
So was our hunch that this was a Temple of Atavius incorrect, or is this like this Temple of Atavius has been like defiled by
All sorts of people worship Atavius. Atavius worship is not canonized. There's no one rule of Atavius. Osarians worship Atavius very differently to Janarans, but those two cultures do have similarities. Older cultures still worshipped Atavius, but they worshipped him very differently than you would have. Or you would
can I
understand.
recall like what kind of culture would like worship him in like a serpentine form?
Go ahead and make a religion check.
I only got an 11.
You don't recognize the specific kind of structure or these kind of symbolisms. The only symbolism that's standing out for you is this half-sun pattern that appears to be at the top of the steps and before the door that you're kind of floating above.
Steve, you do still have guidance if you wanted to use it. I don't know if that would
And the
matter.
inspiration, right?
It won't help then.
Okay. That
He
was
could have
very
rolled.
friendly
He
of
could
you.
have rolled max 8, and he could have rolled max.
That was very
guidance.
friendly of you.
Yeah.
And you said the gem looks like it can be removed because it was forced in.
It can be removed. It looks like it can be removed. It looks like it's. It almost looks like a key that's been slotted into a position, so you could grab a hold of the gem and pull it out.
So besides the gem and the half sunburst are like really the only things of, and then like the entrance to the temple, like whatever
It's
door
shut.
is it's shut. All right, I'll pull the gem out. See what happens.
Let's see if my pre-planning has worked. Yeah, it has. So
Hey, and the temple rises from the depths.
let me describe what happens.
Capsizes our
Can we-
fucking boat.
You
Can
grab
we
a
start paddling?
No, it just lifts the boat up.
hold on. As you grab a hold of the stone and pull it, you feel this kind of like bubbling sensation kind of coming up from the sides of the thing, and you also feel this kind of magnetism, like you're being pulled downwards towards the stone structure. Those who are up on the top at the boat's kind of top see that the water directly at the center point of the temple starts to split open. If you're still on the ship, you can make a vehicle's water check. Tiffany is definitely in full engagement and is trying to move the ship as quickly as possible, but you can assist in that if you have vehicles trained and you're making a check.
None of us
None
have
of us
vehicles
have
water
it.
trained.
Nope.
None of us have it.
Yeah, I know. So
All sort of doggy paddle.
you
off
can
the
make it
side.
untrained. You can make it untrained.
How does that work?
What's she looking for?
22 strength.
Strength. Okay, we got 22
Hell yeah.
strength from
I'm a
Ezekiel.
muscle boy. 15.
15.
That ain't bad.
Okay. And you pull.
You're rowing with the wrong end.
You pull the ship backwards and away from the split, and the split continues to form until the temple itself is no longer underwater, or at least the temple proper that you're seeing is no longer underwater. It's completely disparaged of water from its sides, as the water that is actually consuming the temple, that holds the temple underneath it, parts and opens to reveal the temple to the sky. Those of you who are on the boat are kind of like floating near the edge of it. The water is not just cascading down, it's kind of roiling at its edge, and this surface is kind of present underneath you. This, if you've ever seen the movie Abyss, it's kind of like a flat surface of water underneath the top tier roil of the water kind of cascading in on itself. Those of you who were actually on the temple when it started to lift up, so you would kind of descend down as like the water kind of starts to break and make your way down to kind of standing on the stone near the door. And Silas, we're moving towards the steps. You're kind of deposited as the water kind of moves out from around you, kind of just lets you fall into the open air onto the stone. But those of you who are still on the boat are 50 feet above the temple. And those of you who are at the temple when the stone was seized are on the temple.
We're gonna get down, boys.
Guys, it seems to be some sort of a temple.
Is it a wall of
serpent.
water?
It's a wall of water, and there's kind of just loud roil at the top. It's like it's cascading on itself at the top. And it's not a waterfall. It's just like a sheet of water that's been kind of pushed out. It's almost as if there's like an invisible kind of manifested field that's blocking.
I like
Invisible.
Prince of Egypt.
We all misspeak sometimes.
I'm out of alcohol. I can't drink myself smart again. But the invisible wall has blocked the water from cascading back onto the temple.
So we're just floating over air.
You're on water. So the
On
water,
the boat over here.
the water
Yeah,
level.
We're still on the boat. Okay,
Yeah.
we're still on the boat.
Yeah,
I
you
saw
didn't
you
get-
move the boat and didn't realize we weren't
Yeah.
brought
No,
with it.
you were sorry. I didn't move all the tokens, but yeah, you
You're
would
good.
you would have gone with the boat.
Right.
Tiffany and crew and your help has proved the water parted, the temple's present, and you're kind of at the top of the water. The water's not flying inwards.
We're at a water cliff.
Yes.
Okay. Could we swim down the cliff of water?
Yeah, if you want, you can try.
Is it a solid barrier of force or something holding the water back?
You won't know until you try.
Can we reach out with a stick and try to whack it and see what happens?
If you throw your stick through the water kind of gets thrown through. The stick kind of flies through the air outwards. So it seems like there's no barrier that's actually blocking it. It just seems that the water is not allowed to enter into the space that is above the temple any longer.
Somebody's trying to trick me into
not
drown.
so bad. I'm jumping in.
Yeah, I'll jump in the water.
If you swim down and then pop out of the wall out onto the temple, you can kind of land.
I'm trying to get about level with one of the.
Tiffany says, "Okay, I guess we'll stay here."
Yeah, hang out for a minute. We gotta make sure these guys.
We're gonna move out.
Sorry, thank you.
We're gonna move out a little bit though. Just stay away from it, just in case it kind of forces us in or anything. Okay?
I can't swim.
Well, you can stay with us. Tiffany says.
I can't either, but I still jumped in. Gotta go.
Neither of you can swim.
Oh, my friend.
I could swim.
I don't have a swim speed.
I'll go up and help him
I'll throw a rope.
if I see it.
I will.
I'm down here. I probably can't hear him. Can I?
Give Silas the rope. I'll swim down. Go get Silas. It's like, hey, there's some big guy don't know how to do water.
Okay, I'll go back up, and when I'm back up, I'm gonna get all my stuff and then help him back down.
Once I get down here, I'm gonna go meet up Rolling Rock.
I'm making it incredibly difficult for him to swim down with me.
Oh no,
we're going lifeguard to where back you're coming down kind of.
I'm twice your size.
I'm a lot. Oh, you're a giant. I forgot.
He has a giant Slayer great sword.
I got you and Zach confused.
This isn't as easy as you think it's about to be. Yuta throws a fit when he hits water.
He's reaching past your face.
Did the water knock me off the top of the statue, or can I just be sitting on top of the head?
You sit on top of the head.
Right.
So you can kind of see from the side there on the left what the statue looks like when it would be fully erect. See what I'm talking about?
Serpent.
Yeah.
Coiled feathered serpent.
It looks like a coiled serpent, and the head looks like it has a feathered kind of top to it.
Anything in the histories of such a beast?
If you'd like to make a history check, you may.
Let me see these advanced skill checks. Will any of this help?
I believe in you.
No. We'll just do a raw. Doing a raw.
The rawest of the raw.
An 18.
So serpents do hold a large place in a lot of societies, especially ones that were kind of keyed to draconic cultures during the War of Sword and Serpent. The serpent being draconic. But looking at these, it doesn't look like they are fully distinguishable as kind of a thing that you're aware of. You're not sure whether they're supposed to represent the serpent per dragon kind, or if they're supposed to actually be snakes.
I'm gonna look at my conglomerate badge and see if the serpent that the conglomerate uses is feathered or
Different.
has any relation.
Yeah, different, not the same.
Snake. Always snakes with these humans. I don't get it.
They do a weird thing about snakes, man.
This is probably a hospital.
The door is closed, but it does look like it. It does look like it has a bunch of writing on it.
Is the writing in a language we could understand?
No.
Any of you wizards or caster types have comprehend languages?
I do not.
Cast iron. That's.
Is the door openable?
It looks like it could potentially be opened. Yeah.
Can you tell us what language it is, just in case?
You don't know.
Okay.
Can I try to force it open?
Hold on a second. Just give me one quick second. Does comprehend languages scrolls help us understand written language?
If you want to cast comprehend language, yeah, it would definitely help.
I have 2 scrolls of that.
Yeah, if you want to
So
try it.
I will use one of the scrolls.
Okay. So you don't identify what language it is, but you are able
Okay.
to identify what it is saying.
Yep.
So what it states in this very strange and very foreign and very ancient language, based on what you're able to read, is the path within Ikon Teth is present before you. Step forward, pray to the coiling serpent. Ask his guidance in the path below. Walk into Bedlam.
As guidance.
You can't do that.
So I missed
we're
the
supposed to
second
ask
line.
for
I missed the second line after the path within.
The path within.
No, the path
within. Sorry.
And then next, something is present before you.
Ask his guidance for the for the path within. That's what I said.
Then you said something else before is present before you. The path within.
You said a name and it sounded Egyptian.
You said a name.
Ikonteth. Sorry, the path in Ikonteth.
What is that? Okay, can you type that?
Yeah,
it's like a pharaoh.
Ikoen.
Oh, Ikonteth.
Yeah,
should have known.
So from the comprehend languages, you would see that this is kind of like a root name referring to the structure.
So just to make sure I got it right, the path within Ikonteth is present before you. Step forward, pray, ask guidance, walk into the path below.
Correct.
Okay.
So do you guys want me to cast guidance and walk
well, it's
forward?
It's not casting, it's asking.
Ask for guidance. So
yeah, maybe I thought it was a riddle.
You comprehend the language. See if you can't pray aloud and request guidance for Ikonteth.
Okay.
If you want literal guidance, I can cast it on you.
I can also do that. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Do it while he's praying.
Yeah, I'm gonna before he even our fathers, he's getting some guidance.
And then I'm gonna use my universal speech ability.
Are you casting guidance on the drone?
Nyx. Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing happens.
Okay. Well, he's got guidance.
Spells fizzle?
No,
Nothing
they work.
happens?
They
Okay.
work. They seem to work normally. It just seems that they aren't doing anything regarding. Good. That's a good point of order. Yeah, the spell guidance works as normal, but it doesn't seem to do anything with the door.
Oh, so it wasn't a riddle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then
he
we
wasn't,
cast
he
it
wasn't
on the
making
door?
a prayer?
Cast guidance on the snake.
On the door? Yeah.
Well, you have to pray and ask guidance.
That's what
Whatever
I'm saying.
that means.
Since you comprehend language, maybe you can
guidance
pray.
is a cantrip. I mean, you could cast it on the door too, just
He's
to see if
asking guidance. Ask for guidance.
Yeah, but I mean, asking and casting could be about the same thing because you're using it to get help.
So I would say, oh, Ikonteth, I ask for your guidance.
Nothing happens. If you're
You
just saying
bound,
words.
scrape. You really sell it?
Does anybody like?
Ikonteth is the name of where we're standing. It's not the name of the god. You're praying to the coiled serpent, whatever the name of the coiled serpent is, which would hopefully trigger a religion check that he fails.
There's the serpent over here.
Based on the wording, the coiled serpent seems to refer to some sort of pictograph of chaos, which is a part of Atavius.
We moved to pray to Atavius. The chaotic part of him.
Hold on.
Let's say something about Bedlam,
the
right?
Tavius part?
It did say fall into Bedlam.
Yeah, Bedlam is the chaotic part of Atavius.
Is
Ask
there anything?
Octavius for guidance at the doorway.
I really want someone to cast guidance on the door, please.
I'll cast guidance on the door.
Okay. If you cast guidance on the door breaks open in its center in a bright kind of reddish line that then becomes kind of pink in the middle and then blue. As it starts to open, the center point shows that there's another door behind it. As it finally breaches, It then goes into an orange breach across the middle, which slowly starts to rise upwards. Then a
I'm going to
green
flinch.
breach
I'm
on the
going to
opposite
just
side
Clinched everything.
until 7 doors break, and it's the rainbow pattern that enters in towards violet. So if you're not familiar with that, that'd be red,
Roy G.
orange, green, and so on.
Roy G. Biv.
Right, you Biv. Straight through. 7 doors opening until the final door that opens is only about 5 foot wide, 8 foot high, and it opens into what appears to be a very small room on the opposite side. I'll go ahead and start moving everybody's tokens onto that map, and we'll
Not
get
small for
Good
me.
job, Ezekiel.
into the next
That was a Silas Henry endeavor.
portion.
Good job,
Yeah,
guys.
buddy. I appreciate it.
It didn't make any damn sense.
You
But
right.
you know what? It worked.
You know what?
Right to the coiled snake and ask for guidance.
I'm going to be completely honest with everybody here. If I make sense to Brent, who I think is the most clear-minded like D&D'er that I've ever encountered in my life, I'm going to consider it a win. Because like every time I've thrown one of these puzzles out, Brent's been like, I know where this motherfucker is going. I know exactly where he's going. I got you, you son of a bitch. And I'm like, perfection. And it's just,
Alright.
it's a treat.
All right.
Yeah, that's often how I feel when one person understands something too.
Yeah, that's how I feel. You know what? I love Brent. He's great. So anyways,
He's an inspiration then if you're so great.
I'm putting you on to... Yeah, you can have inspiration, Brent, because you're so great.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so this is what the map looks like. I'm putting everybody's
See what I
tokens
did there? It's called gaslighting, and it's awesome.
Surefire way to keep the
It's totally
chicks around.
badass.
Anyway, very small room. Seems to be about the width and height of the exterior chamber that you're in. So it's higher than it is wide and deep. Upon entering into it, you will see that there are a number of braziers that kind of hold flame. The fire that's kind of burning in them does seem to have a scent to it, meaning it is real fire, not ever burning torches. And you would see that there are 2 series of staircases that lead down into darkness. Your dark vision, for those of you who have it, as you kind of look in that way, seems to be obfuscated by the darkness that's present. There's a symbol in the center, which appears to be some strange sort of maw, kind of pointed down, with a central eye in it. Looking at it, it is definitely not something any of you, I think, here have seen before, but if you'd like to make an Arcana check, you can do so untrained. You can.
Yay,
Oh, yeah.
we got a 20.
20
It's
is
our +1.
20 is success. Everybody else?
Nah, don't worry about us.
You're good. Keep going.
Barely a brain cell between the rest of us.
Nix, you look at the symbol, and you realize that this temple, whatever it is, appears to be linked to one of the great old ones.
Oh.
One of the ancient aberrations of yore. The one that you're
Moxathoth?
certain that this one happens to be is one known as Derlathoth, the envious consumer. And that is where we'll end the session for tonight. Thanks for watching those that did, and we'll pick up next week, 5 p.m. on Sunday. See you then as we explore Ecoanteth.
Yay.